And that was States of Chaos. Occupied Mind, that was one of their own pieces that they wrote. And that went back to the original piece that we heard, To a Lover of Light, also written by States of Chaos. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Fine Music.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You've been working in the Founders Studio today. Did you find that a good place to work?
Excellent.
Absolutely, yeah. Awesome. Love that piano.
It's gorgeous piano, isn't it?
It's awesome, yeah.
Now, Bill, let's start with you. Do you want to talk about how you guys got together?
It goes back quite a while, actually. Edward and I have known each other for a very long time as we studied at university together, and we've played in many, many different formations over the years. But years ago, I think it was around 2009 or something like that, I went to New York City just to go and watch some music.
As you do.
Yeah. Young jazz musician wanting to watch some music. And
there's plenty there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. It's the place. So I was at a gig one night and I actually ran into Casey for the first time. We just kind of started having...
Two Aussies in New York.
Yeah, well, we started having a conversation. It was like, oh, you're from Australia. Oh, what are the chances of that? And then I suppose a couple of years after that, Ed and I moved to Sydney from Canberra. And we all got together and started playing music together.
So, Casey, how did you build that style? It's a very distinct style that you've got.
Yeah, well, I guess we all kind of built it together. Like, of the pieces, we wrote all that music together. But of the kind of three main pieces that we played, apart from the cover, I brought one of them, Ed brought one of them, Bill brought one of them. And we've kind of, it's been 10 years now we've been playing together. So a lot of, I can't speak for these guys, but a lot of what I write, I kind of have some idea of how Ed and Bill might approach it. So we kind of all have worked together. And even when we used to play as my trio, or we've done stuff as Ed's band or as Bill's band or as playing for other people's bands, we just built this kind of rapport together. So it's kind of unspoken and it just sort of happens,
that.
You know?
Yeah, there's a very clear, like an unspoken communication between you guys.
Yeah, and I think the less we don't really, I don't feel the need to say that much at any time, but the less you say, the better in that setting, I think, as well. You know, it's better to be surprised by something cool that one of these guys might play than have anything too planned ahead, you know.
So the development of over these sort of 9 or 10 years that you guys have been playing, how has that changed since you first started?
It's changed a lot. I think when we first got together, we were definitely still, just out of uni and very much working with the information and stuff we were getting from our main influences. And as we've sort of been playing together, it's probably around the sort of 4 or 5 year mark, I just off the top of my head, I really feel like we sort of started thinking about what we sound like as a unit, like as a band, and how we're going to approach creating a sound and not sort of imitate the people that we love too much, but try and do what they did and offer something new and fresh. And we've all got a lot of varying influences in what we do and what we listen to, but we also have a lot of common ground. And just to sort of expand on the point that Casey had a while ago, it's gotten to the point with the three of us where if I write a piece and bring it in, I just sort of roughly kind of hack my way through it on a piano, and then I just have this vision of being able to give it to Casey always and just completely trusting his interpretation of whatever I do. And that's always good because you're always constantly surprised, not by his skill or anything like that, that what you write can actually sound all right if Casey plays it.
So we're really pleased that Casey plays the piano on most of these pieces and not you, Ed.
Most definitely. Yeah.
I think you could say the same about Ed on the drums or Bill on the bass. But I kind of have the same thing. I write a lot of music, but I have a pile of stuff like this is all good stuff. And I could kind of do this in a lot of contexts. I could do this on any gig. I could bring this to a jam. Then I have a few, I'm like, I can only really do this with Bill and Ed because it's a bit weird, a bit kind of like hard to explain what I'm getting at.
But they'll get it.
But in this band, it'll work, But you couldn't just like get some guys together and be like, let's play this because it would just not work,
Yeah,
so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of trust.
Yeah.
Which I think is at the core
it's
of
lovely.
Everything we do.
Yeah, it's great to see how it builds up.
Yeah, I'd follow these guys off a cliff if,
well, don't do
that's
that.
where they went. I trust them. There might be water at the bottom.
Or they might grow wings. So, Bill, when you're working in different venues,
Yeah.
do you find that you change? Does it change in your performance as to who is in, the dynamic of the audience or anything along those lines?
For this group?
Yes.
Yes, of course. We always feed off the responses of the people in the audience, like you can tell if they're into it or not. And luckily, over the years, we've had lots of very kind audiences, actually. So we've enjoyed everything.
So you get to draw them in, really, don't you?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
And you figure out when they need a bit more energy and when they're
Yeah.
slipping under the table.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, congratulations on winning the Fine Music Artists in Residence as well for 2020. That's very cool. That gives you a year's access to our recording facilities and the engineers and rehearsal space and promotional support. Casey, how do you plan to use that, do you think, over the next year?
We got lots of plans. We're very interested in the studio, absolutely. So we have lots locked in there. So we've kind of got a few sessions booked in for the next few months.
Is that for rehearsing or for recording?
For recording. So we have lots of ideas. So we're kind of working on heaps of new music. It's really exciting for us because just to have something like this every so often to lead towards. So we've kind of got the first 3 or 4 planned, and then we've got a few coming up later in the year that we kind of have the inkling of an idea, but we don't really know what it's going to be yet. But that's a great position to be in because in the past we just made this EP that came out a few weeks ago, and normally we can only really do that once a year-ish as far as just being able to afford to the costs of putting out an album and recording costs and all that kind of stuff. So taking that out of the equation, it's great. It should be really...
You could end up really productive, couldn't you?
And
End
just
up
inspired,
recording a hell of a lot more than what you were doing before.
Yeah, and we can take some more risks, try some more unusual stuff. It's really exciting.
Okay. And Ed, do you want to tell us about the EP that's just come out the last couple of weeks?
Sure. It's a self-titled EP. We've recorded 6 tracks. I think they're all written as a group, and some of them we just performed for you guys then in the studio. And it's our first venture into the world of States of Chaos, where we're sort of, trying to develop a new concept and a new sound for the group now. And yeah, it was really fun to make. We had a lot of support from family, friends, people in the scene, to help us actually see the vision of being able to cover the costs of producing a record. So, we had a lot of help getting the ball rolling, which was wonderful. And I think it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Casey had been away for a while, so it was kind of like this hit the ground running as soon as he got back. We knew
the great return.
We knew that we had a date to work towards, and
that makes such a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise you can sit there developing for months and months on the same old stuff and not actually finish anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When we finished recording, we think we recorded about 8 tunes, and then we just sort of decided to get together and have a listen and see what worked the best, and we chose the strongest 6, and that's what we ended up with.
So, Casey, where can we buy them from?
It's digital only release at the moment, so it's anywhere you get music online, it should be there. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, all that kind of stuff.
What's it called though? What are we looking for?
It's States of Chaos is the name of the band and the EP. So
okay,
it's
self-titled.
Yeah, and it's also on our Bandcamp page as well.
So you can find these digital tracks, the EP, States of Chaos, which is performed by States of Chaos as well, and you'll find those on the music stores as well as on Bandcamp.
That's correct.
As just .com on the end of that, isn't it?
It's probably the best way is to Google States of Chaos Bandcamp, to be honest.
Right, States of Chaos Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming, and it's been really fantastic having you here at Fine Music.
No worries. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.